everyone, welcome back to SOC Analyst Zero Certified series. Today we are diving into a core team tactic, privilege escalation. When a hacker breaches a network, they rarely land on the administrator account. Usually, they compromise a low-level service worker or a standard user account. To do real damage, like deploying ransom or stealing password hashes, they have to escalate their privilege to root. On the blue team side, today's Splunk Core exam topic is scheduling reports and alerts. We're not just going to hunt this attacker, we're gonna engineering a real-time semi-alert with a custom throttling to catch them the exact millisecond they try to make over our server. Now we are in the Kali Linux, and we think we have successfully breached the target Ubuntu server using a stolen SSH credential. If you want to know how can we breach the SSH system and guess the password with a password list, you can watch my second videos about brute force attack. Okay, this is our IP address, this is the victim IP address, and this is the username. Now we are inside the system, and just imagine we reach the system. Now, as an attacker, my first goal is to steal the Linux password hashes. Those are stored in the highly restricted file called etc shadow. And I just wanna cat that. As you can see, it says permission denied. So we attempt privilege escalate. We use the sudo command, which temporarily grants root privilege. We are gonna to see if the network administrator was lazy and accidentally left this user into a sudo group. Oh, look at that. This incident will be reported. This is a massive failure for an attacker. The Linux PAM or pluggable authentication module just logged this exact failure into the system auth.log. Let's switch to the Splunk and catch them. Okay, now our Splunk turn on. Let's signing. Perfect. Back in Splunk, we know Linux authentication data is stored in the auth.log file. Let's run a broad search for the word sudo. Index, like always, start with the index star source var log auth.log sudo, and look at these raw logs. Splunk captured the exact anatomy of the attacker. We can see the specific command the attacker tries to run, command the user being cat and etc shadow. Look at that. But the most critical piece of the evidence is this phrase right here, not in the sudo user. When a standard user attempts to run a root command and try authentication, Linux stamps the log with that exact phrase. Let's refine our SPL query to filter for this exact indicator of the compromise and use the state command to identify the compromised account. State count by user. Look at this, admin, 16 times. This query leaves us with a high fidelity alert trigger. We know exactly who is trying to escalate privilege. Now let's automate this. To build an alert, go to the top right, click Save As. For a Splunk exam, you must understand every setting in the menu. Let's name this, and under alerts type we could choose a schedule to run cron job every hour. But privilege escalation is a drop everything emergency. We are changing this to real time. Under trigger condition, we set into trigger per result. Per result, we also have a lot of options. And if an attacker tries this even one time, the alarm goes off. Now, for the most important part of semi-engineering is throttling. If the hackers uses and automate strips that attempts 5,000 root command in 10 seconds, our Splunk server will send the SOC 5,000 emails, crash our ticketing system. We are going to check the throttle box and tell Splunk to suppose duplicate alert for this specific user for 1 hour. We only need to be warned once that the server is compromised. So I think 16 minutes is good. Finally, we can configure trigger action. If you click add action, you can see the power of the modern semi. We can send an email via webhook to a SOC Slack channel, or even trigger a Python script that automatically reaches out to the firewall and bans the attacker IP address. For our lab, we will select add the trigger alert, change the severity to high, and click save as. Let's learn something. For this field, it says if you want to suppress the alert globally across all fields for a set suppression period, we can type only star in the throttle field. Okay, and I wanna after save this alert, let's test our engineering. I'm back on the attacker machine. I'm gonna to run the unauthorized sudo command one more time to try and steal a different files. For example, let's clear that. Sudo cat etc okay. And now we switch to our SOC management dashboard, and under the trigger alerts, there it is, a real-time high sensitivity alerts pop up the exact second the attacker tries to escalate privilege. The SIMI is doing the heavy watches for us, and our blue team can now step in the isolate infected host. And that is how real SOC analysts handle an incident from the start to finish. Let's recap the massive amount of the group we covered today. We're engineering a real-time alert using Splunk Automation Engineer. We apply alert throttling to prevent alert exhausting. But we didn't stop at Splunk. You also learn how to read Linux auth.log files, identify sudo abuse, and execute an active incident response to lock out an attacker. If you want to build this exact pipeline, my full technical documentation is just in the comment section. And if this video helped you to understand blue team operation, hit that like button, subscribe to channel, and I will see you in episode 5.